Welcome to Hidden Gems. The mission of this show is to cast light upon films which may have been ignored when first released. When a film comes out, it depends on a lot of different factors for success. Good publicity, good timing, the political climate, and sometimes just luck. Through that process, many great ones slip through the cracks. Today we're here with one of my all-time favorite directors, Oliver Stone, and we're here with him to talk about his film Heaven and Earth, which was released originally in 1993. Stone's success started as a screenwriter with Midnight Express, which he won an Oscar for. He also penned De Palma's Scarface, which has since become a dorm room poster rap lyric classic. He really found his stride in the mid-'80s with such films as Wall Street, The Doors,
We couldn't get much higher.
JFK, Natural Born Killers, Born on the 4th of July. When I was 10, I first saw Platoon in the theater, and I got to see it in the major theater. You see, my family at the time was poor, and although we loved movies, we waited 2 or 3 months for a film to come out and catch it at the 99-cent theater in our town. Platoon exposed me to a whole new level of filmmaking. It was brutally honest, it was truthful, it was passionate. It had a lot to say about the dark truths of humanity.
Everybody gotta die sometime. All you got to do is make it out of here.
It was the first time I realized there was a real voice behind the movie, and that voice was Oliver Stone.
Just see this land. Vietnam is going to be yours now. If the enemy comes back, you must be both a daughter and a son now.
I think this film is so important now. Anything that points people away from war, which I think clearly this film does show the horrors on all sides of what happens. I've never been, but when I see this, I understand my elders who I've been around who have fought in the war, and it's just a dangerous path that the world is taking.
And there's also an issue here of violence against women, which was not a huge issue back then,
Yeah.
but has become more focused now. Leili had a longer life. This is obviously a condensation. She was married to, there was 3 different children from 3 different men. In the movie, it's 2 children from 1 man. So we had to, the movie was already, how could I get it distributed by Warner Brothers at a time when, Asian movies were, this was before the Ang Lee movie. There was no success at the box office. I had some success as producer with Joy Luck Club years later in 97 or 6, but this did not ring a bell. It opened cold. I think it was one of the lower grossing movies I've made. I've made others too. But I'm so, I remember going to the Ziegfeld in New York on 54th Street, huge theater on opening weekend. It was empty, but I sat there and I cried. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, and I heard sometimes on set you would actually sleep in the house that they built. How was that for you to see your life being recreated in such grandeur and with a crew?
It's not easy at first. Even still now, I cry a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And it just relieves my life again. And with help, because she also came from Danang. And it's hard. It's all your fault.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Did you ever have any luck with men? After
No, I'm still single and available.
You're that guy.
You want to dance? Really? Come on.
This is an amazing performance that you did. Your first role, they do a nationwide search, they find you. How was that, and how how did it transform your life, and how do you take that experience now, years later?
I guess for me it would be the best way to say it is that's when heaven opened its doors to me.
Wow.
She didn't think so at the time. I have to say that it was really because I had just come off of JFK and Born on the 4th of July and so forth, that they gave me a lot of leeway, and I insisted that we get somebody who was believable. We looked everywhere, and we really, this was an old-fashioned search.
Yeah.
And I went to San Jose with very little hope. There was 1,000 people outside in a line, and all, it was I mean, you shoot the film and you talk briefly, generally speaking, and this little girl come in with a friend because she hadn't any idea of what was going on. I think she was hanging out with her friend. I don't think she had much ambition, frankly. And I kind of, it's like that thing where you fall in love. I just kind of knew in a way that, wow, she's got something. I don't know what it is, and blah, blah, blah. And we brought you back how many times? I don't know, once, twice? It was fast.
A million times.
A million times.
You told me after 2 weeks of principal photography, after 2 weeks,
Don't believe this.
he finally said, "Here, Warner Brothers finally accepted you." And I'm like,
Wow.
She came from a very humble family, and they don't, this was big stuff, and Tommy Lee Jones is twice her size, right? I love this moment when he puts his hand over your face. My God, it's...
You really went toe-to-toe with them, and it's a great...
Yes!
he was really tender.
My family was now blown to the four winds. But on the road out of Quy Nhon, I realized I was not alone. My whole country was collapsing.
One of the things I always loved about America is that we do at least publicly put the idea that we do take refugees and immigrants in, and this movie shows that. And how does it feel when you see the current administration that almost wants to change even that persona?
I mean, obviously, this is a movie that could come out now,
Yeah,
frankly, and
that's
it
what
could make
I feel.
it could have some resonance. It seems that compassion is always demanded of us, but we have to reach for it. And this is a lesson. We never learned a lesson from Vietnam. I don't kid myself.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
we
a shame
have.
of it.
I think you and we've tried, we made movies, and I know that you worked at peace foundations, and many Vietnamese Vietnam vets went back, many types like Tommy Lee Jones, you know them, you were in Vietnam.
To answer your question, we're minority.
Yeah.
We're refugees. We're immigrants. If you happen to come to Vietnam and run around another way, we would accept you. We would allow you to come because you put us there. And so when in 1975, the war over, many Vietnamese refugees came, American up in the arms to welcome them. And so now the situation is no different.
Yeah.
And so it's very sad to see that, what's going on today. And I don't know about here, but myself, I always for immigrants, and always for the refugee, and always for accept everybody, because people like us, we contribute something.
Definitely.
And that is make American the great. Not a great again, but because already great. So we're gonna add on more things for the future.
I came here when I was 8. My mom put myself and my 6-year-old sister on a raft and just pushed us out to the South China Sea and say, "May the Buddhist goddess of mercy be with you." And when I couldn't comprehend that there was anything outside my village fishing walls, and we kept going and going, and went from refugee to refugee. And I remember when I came to America, I realized that America was the land of superheroes, because I saw Superman, the land of superheroes. There was Superman, blah, 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 blah. And I understood at that point why everybody wanted to go to America, that everybody would be safe. And so when I see what's going on now with the refugees, to me, it really breaks my heart.
Lee, what are you doing here?
I heard there's trouble. Where's Papa?
Your papa. The Americans came one day to look at our family bunker. They think we're going inside. Made Papa go inside first. When he told them no one was inside, they still threw a grenade. But the grenade did not explode. The two Americans went in. Boom! No more. They were very angry at your pop. They beat him. Put paper on his back. Reese took him to prison. Bad beating.
Oliver, you've confronted America in many of your forms. Your history of the United States, I think everybody should watch. If you haven't, it's on Netflix now.
Untold history.
Untold History of the United States. My question for you is I also read a little bit in the background of Heaven and Earth about the cruelty of people that you've encountered, and that you also feel that's a human trait. Do you feel that any country will ever do better, or are we condemned a little bit to our own?
Well, we have the privilege of enormous power. Came after World War II, this prosperity. It was a given. We had 50% of the world's resources at that time, and we had a tremendous opportunity. We did some good things, absolutely, but we have to weigh into that all the interventions we did in different countries, all the changes of government. And I don't know, it seems like the American people are compassionate, but the government seems to go its own way regardless. So it's, I love the scene with the monk. That's really what it's about. I mean, if you have, each of us has an individual choice. I mean, it's an individual decision to walk, to go to this place of compassion where you get rid of your hatred. And we see a lot of hatred in all countries, but certainly there's an accumulation of hatred here towards an enemy of some kind, whether it's Russia, Iran, China, or we work it up, or else immigrants, or else black folk, or feminists, whatever it is. It just, there's no reason for any of it. And it can change on the spot, as she says in the movie. It's with the moments, or at the end, when she says it's a moment's decision. You can have a bad karma all your life, but if you can turn one time, you can start that process of letting in the light.
Wow, well.
It's very forgiving. It's not a punishing. Buddhism, I suggest it for everybody, but as best as you can. It would certainly, it's a very beautiful, liberal, tolerant way of life.
See, you don't need money in America, Lee. You just give this piece of paper to the bank, and the bank pays.
They don't get it, Lee. I do. Okay? We'll live them together. We'll live them together.
When I came and stayed right here in San Diego and stayed with my mother-in-laws, my two great brother-in-law in Vietnam, Navy, my husband, 2 sons in Vietnam, in Navy. And so they look at me and say, what do you do here? You should be over there. And every Sunday morning they say, come on, get ready to go to church. And I say, no, I don't want to go to church. And they say, shame on you, shame on you. If you don't go to church, you can burn to hell. Oh, wow, And so, every time they see the Vietnamese people killed and the house burned down to the ground and women and children running to village, they look at me and they say, shame on you that you people like to kill each other. And every time American die and put in a coffin and send body home to look at me to say, we should go there and kill them all. Why let them kill us? And all of that comment to me, and I thought, what did they know about the war? Let me tell you what the war is all about. But you know, who am I? I couldn't express myself, I couldn't say anything. So I started to write Vietnamese with a question and a lot of answer. What do you know about us? Then I started to read about the books that the American came back from Vietnam with 1 year's duty or 2 tours of duty, and he write about Vietnam, and he talk about Vietnamese people. Even though my English is not very good, but I knew that it's just a half true. Another half he didn't see it. So I could say, let me tell you about our war, about our people, and about what we went through. And so after 1986, I've been widowed second time, and I'm doing very well with myself. So I returned to Vietnam to visit my mother, and that is when I came back and I gave up everything. I said the book is side for me to deliver this message. And that is how I started to write. And that is what I did. And I asked God, Buddha, whoever, say, I don't know anything about this. You send me Oliver Stone. You send me the publisher. You send me the agent. You send me the thing that I need and people that I need to help this. And you know what? In 5 years, he just sent me Oliver Stone and everything come with it. And so there is heaven and earth.
And shown in Vietnam.
Well, thank you guys all. It's a great film, and I'm glad you guys all came out. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.